I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 86 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. I'm still Flo.
And as always, I'm still Gabe. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, man. I mean, apologies. It was my bad that we missed an episode last week because I've been sick and I'm still not quite, at 100% yet, but I'm getting there and I'm able to record now. If we had recorded last week, I don't think you would have recognized my voice.
Oh, really? Was it that bad?
Well, it was pretty, deep and aching.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, such deep voices when you're sick is always the sexiest.
Yeah.
You suddenly get that radio voice, which you already have, but even more so.
Yeah,
you sound like Bryan Cranston.
Is Bryan Cranston the radio voice?
Well, he's a deep, relaxing, or like J.K. Simmons, or who is
Sure.
like a deep, relaxing voice.
Tom Ford?
I have no idea what his voice sounds right now, to be honest.
I love him. Anyway, yeah, that's my bad. So we're back now, and we have so let me ask you how you are first. Sorry.
I'm fine, thanks for asking. No, I'm tired as always, but yeah, there's been a lot going on, and there's a lot coming up film-wise.
Yes.
So that's a very exciting time.
I say this many times, but I feel like this is going to be the most jam-packed episode in the history of this podcast.
Oh, I alone have like 4 things.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. More, yes, and more. But
Wow, okay.
I might even, save some things for next time or whatever. But what we do need to mention, because I want to get this out of the way, is your suggestion to move the special forward.
Yes.
To move it up. Is that right? To move it up
Sure,
to next week. Because it was obviously supposed to come out next week if we had released an episode last week. Episode 88 was supposed to drop on the 20... what was it? On the 24th? 5th? On the 25th? Yeah, 25th.
Yeah.
Monday the 25th.
Right,
And now, if we don't do that, it's going to come out in November. But we really want to release it in October. I mean, you can maybe guess what it's going to be about. But how do you want to do this? Do you want to call it like... So next week is going to be a special episode, but is that going to be episode 87? Or should we call it episode 88 and release episode 87 a week after?
That's a weird idea.
Confusing, right?
I think we can stay with 87. I mean, it's a special. I think talking about some weirder things. So let's have a weird numerical order.
My OCD is going to bother. That's going to bother the shit out of me because we have like a special episode every 4 episodes, obviously. So it's always been a round number. And then if we have like an episode 87, all of a sudden it's a special episode. I got to figure out some sort of twist that I'm okay with it. Like maybe like 87 and then put in brackets like 8. This is actually 88. You know what I mean? Just for my conscience.
I gotta say, I was always kind of looking forward to it being number 88 because I was going to make the joke it's the most evil number.
Yes, yes, I know. So we should call it 88. You'll see what happens next week.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see, and you'll see. So we got that out of the way. We're doing a regular episode now. We got so many things to discuss because we missed last week, and we're not going to talk about new releases next week either. So this is going to be jam-packed, and then next week, episode 87, will be a special episode. I hope, you understand why, and it's going to make sense, obviously.
Yeah, so, and the one after that was also going to be quite special since the Biennale is coming up. So a lot of good things there as well, hopefully.
Right, but that's not a special episode, right? So the next regular episode...
It's quite special to us.
Yeah, it's confusing as hell, but that's why you tune in. So you're right. Yeah, that's coming up. So we're going to talk about those films in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, let's dive into this. I don't know where to begin. I have no idea what you have. I got 4 or 5 things too. Do you want to tell everyone how the show works, and then let's just let's dive into the deep end and see what happens?
Let's go. Yeah, welcome back to another regular episode, not a special episode. Here we talk about the best thing that we've seen all week, or since we missed an episode the last 2 weeks, I suppose. And yeah, we're going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions and then go to the best thing that we've seen all week, something fairly new that came out in the last 6 months or so. And with thing, we mean TV show, movie, yeah, maybe even YouTube video, various audio visual stuff.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's my turn to start. But since you have so many honorable mentions, I'm going to let you go first to throw some out there.
Well, I thought you had so many as well.
Yeah, but I mean, 5, 6 is a new record. Plus, one of the 4 things that I have, I don't have to talk about. It's like something that I started. I could talk about, but
Same.
I didn't finish it. And there's a reason for it, which I could get into. But since we have so many things, we'll see. But you want to start or should I?
I can, because I feel like
Sure.
I have something that we can start with. But I
Let's
want
go.
to throw one last thing out there. One
Mhm.
movie that I've been looking forward to for a long time that I don't know if you have seen it by now. I haven't seen it yet because I've been sick, is The Last Duel.
Mm.
The new Ridley Scott film. I don't know if you're going to talk about that today. I'm going to say I doubt it because we said we're going to maybe talk about that in a couple of weeks' time. So I didn't get around to watching that yet.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it on Monday, I think.
Okay. Right. So that's a big release we're not going to include this week. But anyway. So have you watched No Time to Die?
That is, I guess I have 5 things to talk about. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I have watched No Time to Die.
What is it with that movie and you? You forgot it was coming out. Now you forgot that you watched it.
Well, now it's been like nearly 2 weeks.
Wow, it's been 2 weeks. Jesus.
No, I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I gotta say, I also rewatched Casino Royale a couple of days ago, and I was kind of in the mood for more Bond after No Time to Die. And I gotta say, you told me about a review that you read, right?
For which one now? For the new one?
For No Time to Die,
Yeah.
which is, well, it was in German, but I guess loosely translated. I was shaken but not touched.
Sounds horribly wrong.
Or shaken,
No,
not
it's
stirred, I guess
stirred,
would work
yeah,
as well.
In German, it makes a lot more sense.
And I gotta say, I feel the same way in a lot of ways. It has some very emotional scenes, especially towards the end, which didn't work as much for me.
I want to do spoilers, please. I want to do spoilers. Spoiler alert for No Time to Die. Please, go on. Yep.
So I gotta say, opening the movie, I was not sure about it, but the scene where they got the chase scene, then they release the sheep, and he does this very aggressive turn and release the spikes and everything, then the bomb music drops.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. Really loved that scene.
Oh, man.
And those scenes worked really well, I think.
I love how you point out the iconic scene of the film where they release the sheep.
But it's the first time the Bond music, fades
sure.
in.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
I think. Like those scenes worked amazingly well. Especially also the opening scene that you talked about with Rami Malek's character coming in and killing the mom.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Really
It's like
great.
kind of a horror film, that scene.
Yeah, very much. Maybe you said that. Maybe that's why it's on my mind. Very like a Swedish crime movie. Remind me. Maybe it was the snow and kind of reminded me of The Iceman. The ending of The Iceman with Michael Fassbender.
The Snowman.
Snowman. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Perfect. Yep. You're absolutely right. It's a very similar scene. Yep.
And on that same vein, Rami Malek. Love that dude.
Really?
One of my favorite new Bond villains. Then again, they've been all been great. Fucking Mads Mikkelsen and Javier Bardem. Great. But I loved him in this. How about you? Because I talked to my brother, for example, and he wasn't such a fan of his.
So I don't know if you or the audience, as I like to call them, remember this, but when I spoke about this film 2 weeks ago, I was all over the place. I was very vague because I didn't want to get into spoilers and stuff. And I had seen it like less than 24 hours ago. For me, this film has changed a lot over the last 2 weeks. The more I thought about it, and I'm still gonna say, like, in terms of ranking the 5 Craig Bond films, this is right in the middle for me. I'm going Casino Royale, Skyfall, and then No Time to Die.
Spectre on the bottom or Quantum Solace?
I would have to rewatch Quantum of Solace again because it's been so long. But I would probably guess that Spectre is above that.
Ooh,
but it's been so long. But No Time to Die. I mean, I watched a lot of things. I watched that documentary too, like Being James Bond. That's on Apple TV Plus, whatever it's called. Just about like Craig talking about his experience and everything. So I consumed a lot, and I watched a lot of reviews, and I thought about the film a lot. And I don't know, I do have some issues with this film, even though I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I mean, speaking of, I bring it up because you speak of Rami Malek.
Sure.
I like him, and I think he does a good job. But what exactly is his objective? Because he wants to...
Yeah, that's the criticism that I heard most. And yeah, I agree. Yeah. Sorry,
because obviously he wants to take revenge because they killed his family, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, that made it sound so minute. Sorry, but you know what I mean. But then what is it about him, like, with that poison? What is his goal? Why is he trying to do a Thanos and just like kill half of the planet?
I talked about this as well not long ago, and as the way I understood it, at least, was to create a new world order, which is a very basic, bad guy thing to do. But he talks about, Bond creating order by killing people, and as does he, but he's, tidier. He does a good job. He creates a new world order by decimating the population, maybe doing away with all the overpopulation and other problems that are coming up. That's maybe global warming, who the fuck knows? And, by killing most people, which is a very aggressive and very total way of dealing with things. But that's how I understood it. I still got to say it's not like the most clear or great plan or interesting plan, to be honest.
Right, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? We're talking about a Bond villain here.
Right, yeah.
These guys usually stroke a cat and have an evil laugh, right? So I'm not saying it has to be the most sophisticated plan, but I'm kind of lost of what his actual objective is and was, now thinking about it more. And there were so many scenes, especially towards the end, the scene where he just decides to let the daughter leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you can go if you don't want my protection. And she just leaves. Then the scene where Craig, where Rami Malek's character, he's actually pointing a gun at the daughter's head. And Bond decides to shoot, and as soon as he shoots, the fucking trap door opens, and he just that's like out of a parody. Why wouldn't that bullet hit him? Like, how quick was he on that button that as soon as he fired that gun, he was already like slowly falling down a trap door? Like, what was that all about?
I gotta say, I enjoyed the trapdoor scene since it seemed so over the top, so very villainy to have this escape plan.
You can look at it that way, right? Yeah, sure.
But I gotta agree, like, letting her go was kind of weird. I mean, he was so sure everyone is going to die, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It seemed a bit too easy. I mean, the girl was in trouble, and the only way she got out was because the villain stopped caring all of a sudden.
When I watched it in theaters, I was literally like thinking, oh, maybe he just lets her leave because he knows what eventually is going to happen. He knows that he's going to poison Bond, and he's going to put that thing, and that he can't be in the same, that he can't touch her.
Yeah.
So therefore, he can release the daughter because he knows it's not going to like it's still going to end up being the same fate for the two of them, for the three of them. But it still felt a bit weird. I don't quite know why that scene was in there. It was a weird laugh in the cinema. I remember it, that everyone was like, what? Okay, then you can just leave. Okay, sure. Then the whole thing that they can't bomb the island because they have to open the hatch. Bond has to manually open the hatch, right? Because otherwise the bomb won't hit the fucking area where they produce the poison. What is that? When the bombs hit, they hit all across the island, not just one spot in that little thing that he has to open up.
If it's like built into a bunker, which it seems to be, I mean, it's designed to withstand missiles and rockets and shit like that. And I don't know, maybe it's somehow protected, or maybe there's like things underneath that they said, I think they have to destroy all of it. Otherwise, if even a little bit gets out, they're fucked.
No, sure, but they're bombing the whole island. I mean, surely that's going to... I don't know if...
I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist.
Oh, for sure. Whatever. But the main thing for me is still, and I said that 2 weeks ago, is that I don't really care for Lea Seydoux' character and the relationship between the two of them. I'm not invested in it. So
I gotta say, having rewatched Casino Royale, I was like Team Vespa all the way. It was quite sad to see her go. I mean, I get it, yeah. Compared to that, she's not that interesting, and also like, they break up because he stops trusting her, and then she's the fucking psychologist for Christoph Waltz's character Blofeld, which makes no sense. Why would you pick her? She's very much
100%.
not in a position to be his psychologist. She's affected by him, right? She's a bit of a victim of his, so...
Well, she's the only one
it's
that
weird.
I think isn't it that she's the only one that he wants to see?
Sure, but then apparently they're not talking about much, right? Because nobody knows shit from him.
Right. I mean,
So,
that
I
whole
don't
scene
know.
was weird too, with the poison and then the killing Blofeld or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The party scene in, where was it, Cuba, with Ana de Armas? I mean, Ana de Armas in general. She was great.
Best
You're right.
scene, yeah.
Yeah. What
I
a
loved
dress.
her. What
a
a
friend
dress.
of mine said to me, Ana de Armas, oh, what a dress. The second I saw her, I was like, all right, I get it. What a dress.
I'm still, because I don't want to miss, you said that you had to rewatch Casino Royale so that you're finally Team Vespa. It took you a rewatch of Casino Royale to finally figure that out. I'm Team Vespa all the way. What are you talking about?
It had been years, so many years. And
No,
I was
but
like,
still.
okay, for me, it was like, okay, well, another Bond girl. It was like, I guess more important, Eva Green, Eva?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
I barely remembered her, but
Okay, fair enough. No,
ever
sorry.
you watched it, way better.
Right, but back to Ana de Armas, there is a brilliant video on YouTube, I think put out by the cinematographer,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a YouTube channel, and he's got like a behind the scenes video with Ana de Armas, just like maybe he was a stunt coordinator, maybe he wasn't the cinematographer, but anyway. And it's in black and white. It's beautifully shot too, and it's about like behind the scenes and her like learning her stunts. And she talks about the dress too. It's great. She goes like, "Oh, you should see that dress. It's like I'm basically naked."
Jesus,
there's got to be some taping action going on there. She's got to be taped up all the way. Otherwise, there's no way that one movement would reveal way too much for a Bond film.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But it's a great scene. I really thoroughly enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, great scene. I mean, yeah, great action. I gotta say, the thing that I least like were just the emotional scenes between Bond and LASSO S02, just because I didn't care enough. And the stakes, well, seemed high because they said they were high, but I was like, all right.
Right.
It's James Bond. I don't know.
It just felt the death of Bond, because I love Craig so much. I was emotional during it, but it felt like he's dying for a relationship or for people that I am not that invested in yet, maybe. So that felt a bit off for me too.
Sure.
But anyway, I still enjoyed the film. So I just wanted to bring up a couple of points that I've been thinking about over the past couple of weeks.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see also who's going to be the new Bond. I mean, the woman whose name I've forgotten of the actress.
Lashana Lynch, yeah.
Yes, I think she was good. Yeah. I think she would make a good Bond. I think it would just be weird since her name isn't James Bond, and canonically now 007, Daniel Craig's 007 is named James Bond, which would only make sense if they completely reboot it and not just continue it, but we'll see, I suppose.
Right, I think they handled it quite well in No Time to Die, that they were like 007, that's only just a number,
Yes, but like the name is James Bond, right?
Sure. No, I being politically correct and everything, but I'm also going to be honest. I don't want a woman to be the next James Bond. I would be happy for a role similar as Bond to be written for, and then a whole franchise, but it's not going to be like, if it's Bond, it's Ian Fleming's Bond. I don't love the idea of just like, for the sake of diversity and equality, that we're recasting like male icons as women now. And it sounds very bad, I know what I'm saying now, but it's like, please write similar types of films for women, and many of them. There's already been a few great ones recently, but James Bond inherently is James Bond, right? So
yeah,
anyway.
I mean, I kind of get it. Sure.
Yeah,
I'm not as invested in James Bond, so I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
It will work for me.
Yeah. No, it would probably work for me too. I'm just,
Sure.
Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
I mean,
send
we've
hate
spent
mail in the comments.
Addressed to Flo, not me.
Yeah.
But we've gone on about James Bond quite a bit. There's so many other things to cover.
Yeah. So that was one of my, I don't know how many things now.
Okay.
I have so let me ask you, is your
Let's go.
pick of the week a film or a show or YouTube video?
A movie.
It's a movie. Okay. So then we can talk about, I don't know if you've seen this. I watched this in the week when I was sick. Maybe that's the show that you... What's going on?
I think I know what's coming up, but we'll see.
We're both late on this, if it's true.
Let's go.
Squid Game?
Yeah, I am on episode 6 or 7. I didn't manage to finish it in time.
Do you want to save it
for
if
this
it
week?
Could be a pick for you in the future?
I don't think so, since next week's going to be a special, and after it's going to be Biennale stuff. So I don't think it's going to make it.
Right. I mean, it's interesting that you also started watching this now because it's been out for like a month, and it's the most watched Netflix show ever.
Really ever?
Yes.
I started very recently after they launched it, and then I watched like an episode every 2 days, and the last couple of days I had zero time and just watched one episode the last 2 weeks.
Right. So you finished episode 6?
I don't want to say anything wrong.
No,
might have been. I'm halfway through, maybe through 6, because I got interrupted and never finished. I think I am on. I'm at the start of episode 6.
Okay, that's a real shame because episode 6 is by far the best episode of the whole show.
Oh, really?
And I was hoping we could talk about that now, but okay, that's absolutely fair. But I quote unquote, from my watching habits, quite sort of binged it, thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, I wanted to.
I gotta say,
yeah.
I expected you to watch this, and if not, I would have recommended this to you because it hits many of the notes that I know you enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I am quite twisted in the way that whenever a new show is dominating Netflix or Amazon Prime, I tend to steer clear from it.
Okay.
And that is absolutely stupid, and there's no reason for it. But I never, because I'm someone who's looking forward to things, right? I have movies on my watch list for like movies that are going to come out in 2 years, and I'm looking forward to them. I'm invested in it, right? Mm-hmm. And every once in a while, there's a show coming out that I guarantee you no one has ever heard of before. And Netflix also, like, they released the trailer, and the show is going to come out the next week, right? So here's Squid Game. It comes out next week. And then I don't know how many millions upon millions of people watch it and absolutely love it. And for me, that's just like those kind of crowd pleasers, whatever. And it kind of feels like if you go into a new city on vacation and you just go into all the restaurants that are sort of aimed at tourists to sort of charge you more. It feels like a cheap thing to watch in a way. But it's absolutely not true, because the reason why everyone loves these shows is because they're, in most cases, actually great. And I thoroughly enjoyed Squid Game too.
But I like that analogy, actually. I mean, in a lot of cases, I think it's true with like big shows that are quite mediocre, but are just so hyped up that you have to like them.
Right.
But yeah, not always, of course.
Yeah. I mean, Squid Game, I think, let's talk a little bit about plots, even though the whole world has seen it. Obviously, it's I think it's a South Korean production, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's about a couple of people. Well, we genuinely, I'm not going to name any names because no chance. But we get to meet a lot of people along the way who end up in a game where they can win a shit ton of money, and they have to compete against each other in like children's games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very... those games take a very, very dark turn, and it's a very, very bloody and gory and R-rated show for sure. So it's not for the faint of heart. But yeah, the premise is pretty great. I mean, it's got like you know the movie Exam that we watched together.
Sure.
Or Saw. I mean, I kind of describe it as Saw meets Lost. Lost in terms of like figuring out the whole world you're in. And Saw, I mean, it's kind of obvious, right?
I mean, I haven't seen Battle Royale, but in my head I compared to Battle Royale and like
Hunger Games.
Escape Room.
Well, you've seen Hunger Games. That's basically Battle Royale, but yeah.
As well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Escape Room and Battle Royale. Yeah, absolutely. Got a lot of comparisons you can make with that show, yeah. But I mean, we're not going to talk about spoilers now. Episode 6 is fantastic. And what I really, really thoroughly enjoyed is that throughout the whole show, once you're done watching it, they really did a great job of like putting in shit tons of Easter eggs. So once you've seen the whole thing, you can go back and actually look, oh, that's great. They teased that beforehand too and everything like that. So,
okay.
Yeah. Episodes Was episode 5 the one with the VIPs? I think, right?
No. I think that must be 6. 5 is the one with the surgeon.
Isn't VIPs an early episode? Have
Is
you
it
not
called
met
VIPs?
Yes, it's called. Have you not met the VIPs yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh shit! Because
They've talked about them in episode 5. So I think they're about to come
it's
up.
episode 7 VIPs. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's actually like a funny critique or whatever. Once you get to meet the VIPs, they are laughably bad. Like written, the dialogue is laughably bad.
The only thing that I read or like review wise was that the VIPs are like comically like comical portrays of people that are so stupid. It's the only thing that I've read about the show.
But I don't think it's done on purpose. I think they just did a horrendous job with the dialogue for the VIPs. But you'll get to that.
That's weird. Yeah.
This could easily be a pick of the week for me.
I'm interested in what is going to be a pick then, because I half expected this to be.
It could have been, and I was if you wanted to save it, it would have been easy for me to have that as a pick like in 2 or 3 weeks time too. But
I mean, I think there's going to be so many other things to talk about.
Yeah,
in the coming weeks. So yeah,
no, for sure. But the whole thing is it's a phenomenon, Squid Game, really. I mean, all the actors are they have millions and millions of followers, like pretty much overnight, especially that girl who plays number 67.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a model, and this is her first acting gig, and she's just blowing up right now. Absolutely everywhere. And I mean, the cast is great. And there's actually one actor towards the later episodes that is an actor that I thoroughly enjoy. I actually looked up his IMDb and I was like, yes, I know that guy from that film. So
yeah. Anything that I know, maybe?
Yes, you would know that film. I don't want to spoil it, but it wouldn't be a spoiler at all. It literally wouldn't be a spoiler at all, but I know you're like me. You don't want to know these things.
Sure.
But I genuinely think that once the actor is on screen, you wouldn't you wouldn't pause and go like, I know that face. You would just move on. I don't think you would even notice him. I just
oh, really? I mean, there's a couple of Korean movies that's been quite a long time since I last saw them, like Old Boy.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not the guy from Old Boy.
Okay. I mean, it could be the other guy from Old Boy.
Yeah, it's not the other guy either. I don't think so. But yeah, anyway, let's move on from Squid Game. We'll talk about it maybe once you've seen it more. I don't know.
I was about to make a bad joke.
Please do.
I was going to ask if it's the squid from Old Boy.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. So what else is on your list?
Well, you throw out some.
All right.
You throw out some.
I'm going to start with, did you see The Guilty?
Yes, that's the next one on my list.
All right, because I started it and I didn't finish it because there were so many things that kept bothering me, and I was like, the original is better. The original is better. It just kept kept going through my head, and was like, why the fuck am I watching this? I don't need to waste the next hour with this. I know it's going to be mediocre.
You stopped a Gyllenhaal film.
I stopped the Gyllenhaal film. I liked his performance, but I knew what was about to happen, and I was so put off by the fact first of all, the setting was just so American, so grandiose. It's not just a case where somebody calls because they've been kidnapped. No, there's got to be a wildfire and everything's got to be big and fucking fiery. And second of all, the cool thing about The Guilty is a new movie, or like the American remake has just come out, where it's about a phone operator, emergency phone operator when they call 911. And the original is set in Sweden. And the cool thing is that it is all set in that room with the telephone operator, just going through the whole thing with the person calling him and trying to reach other people, send an ambulance, send this, where are you, what is going on? And you have no idea what the fuck is going on until it is, of course, revealed as it is to him, not because you see what is going on. And it's similar in the remake, but you do see little glimpses of like the outside, which just ruins the whole mood.
It's such a weird choice because I was worried that they're going to show things. Mm-hmm. But this is like a weird in-between thing. They hint at things in the beginning. You get to see like a van from the back.
Yeah.
It's
like
so
more
weird.
What he imagines kind of is happening. But you don't need that.
I hated that they did
that. They think the audience is kind of stupid in a way. I think like, let's show them what he imagines. I mean, the whole fun is being in his position and imagining it for ourselves. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they don't show too much. So it's mainly on Gyllenhaal still for like 90% of the film, but it was weird. We talked about the guilty recently when we talked about Hidden Gems.
Right.
I think we've mentioned that movie a couple of times, and even the fact that we're going to do a remake, we've mentioned a couple of times, and it came out on Netflix a couple of weeks ago now, and stars Jake Gyllenhaal. Yes, go on.
I said it's Swedish, Danish. Sorry, my bad.
I was looking it up while you said it because I wasn't sure, but the director is Swedish, so I thought you were right.
Swedish. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I said it. I was like, because you just said Hidden Gems.
Yeah.
I thought of our list, and I remembered there being so many Danish things on there, and I thought it was one of them.
No, I think it's Swedish.
Yeah, you're right. Swedish. Gustav Mörner, is that his name?
Gustav Möller.
Oh, there we go.
Sure, yeah, good job.
Remember that name. But you finished it.
I did finish it, yes. Okay. And are you going to finish this?
I don't think so.
I'm going to stay vague, but I don't think you should. Because how well do you remember the story from the first one? Do you remember
quite good. Okay. Quite well.
So how do I can say this now? Because I don't want to spoil this for anyone who hasn't seen the original. First of all, please don't watch this if you haven't seen the original. Please don't do that. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, one of our favorite actors, and he's good in it too. But please don't do it. The original is on Prime, I think. Still, it's included in Prime, so you can watch that, and it's a much, much better film. And in the remake, it's almost the same film, but they did weird choices. Like, I don't think in the original he had asthma.
Yeah. I mean, did he maybe like have panic attacks? I wasn't sure about that. Yeah,
I think so. But the whole ending, they changed. They
changed.
Really? Not like, but they changed weird, minute things. They made like they did some cheap things in the end, in my opinion, because certain horrific things happen in the film, and then in the end, there is sort of like a Hollywood type of happy ending that isn't. Not the main story, but like side plots. Side plots are sort of they have a happier ending in the remake than they did in the original. That's really not a spoiler. And it just felt like, why are you doing this? Why are you making that?
Yeah,
it was great the way it was. Why change that? And then even the very, very, very end, they changed that as well. It
was also so on the nose with like his phone cover with his daughter and everything. They just point out things so much more than in the original, which is just somewhere subtle, and which makes it so more interesting because you think you kind of figure it out for yourself.
Yes. The original trusts its audience.
Yeah.
And it has faith in its audience. And a Hollywood remake rarely does. So that's the guilty. Please do yourself a favor and watch one of the best films that I've ever seen in the original one, and kind of avoid this one. Even though, I mean, Gyllenhaal is always good, and they shot this film in 11 days during the pandemic.
Sure.
So
I mean, perfect for that, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's quite remarkable for that. But watch the original.
All right.
So what else you got?
Yeah, I got one or two more honorable mentions, but I'm going to go through them very quickly because I think we're already at like 40 minutes.
We're good. 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I saw in a sneak, which you didn't, which was a couple of weeks ago, but I think came out.
I think it's still November, my friend.
4 days. That's something else.
5th of November.
According to...
We've had this discussion. I know exactly the film you're going to talk about. I want to watch this film. This comes out on like November 5th. Does it star a bald actor?
Okay. I mean, according to IMDb, it's October 14th.
No, but we talked about this on... it's even in the Biennale thing where there's a little ad for it that it comes out. But you can talk about it. Fuck it, you can talk about it if you want.
No. Then we'll save it. We have so many other things to talk about anyway.
Is it a romance involving a bald actor?
Yes, it is. I love the description.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to talk about something else, which is you go ahead with your other honorable mentions. I'm sorry, because the other two things, the honorable mention and the pick, are both in the same vein. They've something in common, so I'm going to do them back to back.
I'm still Googling the release date. Maybe you're right. Votivkino. They show it in the Votivkino. Here we go. 95 minutes. November 5th, my friend. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, let's go. No, don't be sorry.
Okay, sorry. I didn't listen to the last sentence you said.
My last honorable mention and my pick have a bit of a thing in common, so I'm going to do them back to back probably. So do you have any other honorable mentions before we get to our picks and other things?
Yes, I got one last thing, which I'm going to do in one sentence because do you remember the show that I talked about, I think maybe 4 or 5 months ago, Last One Laughing, that Amazon Prime show with the Germans?
Yeah, the German, yeah.
There's a season 2 already, and I watched like the episode 5 and 6 last night, and I didn't realize that was the ending of the series again. So it was only 6 episodes, so it's now wrapped up. And I watched season 2, and it's good again. It's such... Have you watched this? No, right? You haven't?
No, but a friend of ours, Ralph, called me a couple of days ago. We talked, and he told me that he thoroughly enjoyed season 1 and 2. Yeah,
it's really, really good fun. It's called Last One Laughing. There's many iterations of it in many different countries, but the German one, with Michael Bulli-Herbig and a lot of great comedians in there, as always. I mean, you got a lot of like maybe even bigger names now in second season, and it's just fun. It's great fun, and it's such an easy watch. It's like 30-minute episodes or whatever, and it's just if you want to watch something that's really just it can be on in the background, you're gonna have a good time. It's literally like 6 episodes, like 30 minutes. So that's out too on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I might check that out. Maybe it's like Taskmasters, where I sometimes just check in for just one task if I don't have a lot of time, and then finish the episode later in the day.
I'm watching that too again. I mentioned that. Yeah.
Season 12?
Yes, I'm enjoying season 12. Yeah.
Me too.
I have a huge crush on Morgana.
Really?
That's a beautiful woman. No, you're more of a fan of Greg Davis.
Victoria? Okay. I'm a fan of Alan, of Alan, what's his name?
Davis.
Alan Davis.
Yeah. No, they're all great. They got a great dynamic.
I mean, love Gus.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great energy.
I've never heard of that guy before, but he's
me
great.
neither.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know what your pick is going to be in terms of the genre.
Kind of, yeah.
But I have no idea what.
Well, genre. The thing is, the Japan Film Festival was, I think, last week, and I meant to watch 3 things. I only got around to 2, sadly. And one of them is my honorable mention. One of them is my pick. One honorable mention that I watched is Love for Life and Goldfish.
Beautiful.
Which had an interesting title. The synopsis or tagline seemed interesting, so I thought I might check it out. And I had no idea what the movie was actually like until I sat down and the announcer, the moderator came on, like thanking everybody, thanking the sponsors, everything, and then talking about the movie and what made it interesting. Right. As I did sometimes do on film festivals, whatever. And he said the interesting thing is that it's a musical comedy starring, like putting together in leading roles, a renowned kabuki actor from Japan and an J-pop idol from Japan.
Right.
And when I heard this, I was like, oh wow, okay, let's check this out. This sounds weird, but who knows? And it was one of the weirdest movies that I've ever seen, or like ever seen. Like, it was so weird, and it wasn't great, to be honest. It was very, very cheesy, incredibly cheesy. Oh my god, the acting was very bad. Some of the casting was awful. And the very interesting thing is, while they sang, the lyrics were shown on the screen in Japanese, not just in English subtitles, but there were actually like lyrics on the side in case you, I guess, want to sing along. Sure. And also the music was, the singing was okay at times, but the music was awful. It just sounded like free music. What do you call it? Copyright free music.
Right.
Did you just download somewhere? It's just this very basic bass line, whatever. So bad. So bad. It was interesting. Love, Life, and Goldfish. It's about a banker who's been transferred from Tokyo to a very remote town where he meets a woman who works in a business where people, fish goldfish. Those games at carnivals where people get those
sure.
round paper thin things to scoop out goldfish, and they can keep the ones they fish out.
Yeah.
And everybody's into that in that town and just becomes a kid again. And then he tries to compete and also be part of it. Of course, at first being, oh, that's so stupid, that's so childish, and completely falling for this woman who works there, which is just such a weird choice, because it's also like, another woman is in love with him, but he doesn't want her because he's so enamored with the other woman. And the woman he's enamored with, the goldfish lady, such a boring fucking figure. She does nothing. They barely talk. Nothing happens with this woman. And she's this very generic bad backstory. And the other woman who's actually interested in him actually has funny lines. She actually, interacts with the character properly. So you're not really rooting for the other person, in my opinion, which was just a weird fucking choice once again. Yeah.
Right.
Something that I would have never watched, but the movie and the tagline interested me, but yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Didn't work for me.
No one could watch this even if they wanted to, right? Is that out anywhere?
I don't think this will play anywhere in Austria, to be honest. If you find it somewhere, maybe it's going to release on Prime or something. Yeah, stay away. Is my recommendation. I don't think everybody would enjoy this. I have no idea where you would watch it. I don't know. Probably that's not even decided yet, since this is the premiere, and I think only came out recently in Japan as well. So it's a good question, actually. I mean, some of the movies that I'm about to talk about, also the second one, which I think might get a release in Austria.
Right.
Probably in the film casino, if anywhere, because they show a lot of Japanese movies. Well, so the festival took place.
Yep.
So on to my pick, which is Under the Open Sky, which I also saw at the...
You got to get no reaction from me. I have no idea what these movies are.
Japan Film Festival. Yeah. I got to say, out of all the movies that I decided to watch, this sounded the most interesting.
Right.
And I almost didn't get to see it because I actually had something else to do that day, but I managed to move it around. And this is actually a really good movie. It had some problems, to be honest, but it's just well acted, well directed. And also the director was there while I watched the movie, gave a little speech, but I'll get to that later because that was one of my favorite experiences in a long time. But Under the Open Sky, it is about a ex-gangster, an ex-Yakuza member who went to prison for about 14 years for killing somebody and now finally is released after such a long time and has to get reacquainted with the outside world, to get reaccustomed to living on the outside and finally going straight after spending multiple terms in prison for multiple crimes and now finally deciding at the age of like 50, 60 to quit. And not just to quit, but to finally find his mother, since he's an orphan and wants to finally find her and get his life back on track. And that gets picked up by somebody who works at a TV station, and they want to make a documentary about him, or like a special about his life, like a 60 minutes type of special on TV,
Right.
And yeah, it's emotional. It's got actually some funny scenes and some very good acting, in my opinion, by the main actor, whose name I dare not pronounce.
Yeah. Koji Yakusho?
Yeah.
I mean,
that sounds pretty good.
Spitballing here, yeah.
But I'm not sure if we get the trailer for this.
Well,
I mean, if so, I don't know how interesting it would be, since it is just in Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I don't think it would really work, right? I don't think we have too many listeners in Japan who speak Japanese. I'm not too sure.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, so maybe we might save the trailer, since I am not 100% sure if we could even get the rights.
I could put some music in the background, and you can do your trailer voice and tell us what it is about.
I mean, I just did. I mean, I can repeat the words just more epically.
You got to do it in like a trailer voice, though.
In a world where ex-gangster gets released, I need to be deeper.
It's a different film.
But I suppose then we can save the trailer.
What do you mean save the trailer? No, I'm going to put music below. I'm going to put music.
Are you for real?
Yeah. For that 10 seconds you just did, it's going to sound great.
Thanks. Okay. Well, thank you.
Sure.
I suppose I might get a job after this.
Yeah.
As a trailer voice. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time watching this movie, but my favorite part about watching this was when I arrived at the cinema. I arrived like 5 minutes before it started, since I missed the bus because I drove off a minute early, that fucking bastard bus driver. So I had to run most of the fucking way. When I finally got there, I was fucking sweaty, out of breath, but I got there on time 5 minutes before it started, you know?
Yes.
Picked up my tickets, meant to go inside, couldn't do it. So it's like, okay, no, sorry, just wait a minute, you know? We can't let you in yet. I was like, all right, no problem. But when I reserved or bought the tickets, I was like, there was so many seats already taken. So I was sitting very much in the front. And it was like, where is everyone? Shouldn't I be waiting with other people? But there were like 5 other people. Then they finally let everybody in, and I got in very quickly because while I ran there and while I sat there, I was still listening to a lecture from uni, which I had at the same time. Actually, it was a Japanese language course.
Of course it was. Yeah.
Finally got in, and they like hushed us everybody in, and I was the last one in. And the whole fucking room was just full of people already sitting there. And they apparently already built up a little stage in front of the screen. And there was a woman in a complete kimono giving a speech. Or sorry, it was first, yes, her. Then the director, all in Japanese. And when I came in, there's like, said to me like, wait by the door, whatever, where I didn't want to, go through the, walk along the stage, walk into everybody's line of sight while they gave those big speeches. So I just stood there next to the fucking entrance door, where every time the woman in the kimono came and stood right next to me, where she gave her speeches, then she walked off, gave another speech in Japanese, and I stood there right next to her, looking as if I was part of the fucking crew there for some reason. And she spoke. Then the director came on, gave like a 5 to 10 minute speech in Japanese. Then the woman who is part of the Austrian-Japanese relations came on. Then the fucking Japanese ambassador came on stage, gave a little speech.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you sit down? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Because it was already so fun. The speeches started.
Yeah, but just when I came in, still open.
But it was like on the other side of the the cinema, so I had to either squeeze through a lot of seats,
sure,
or just wait till the end, I suppose,
okay, gotcha,
which is what I did. And they took a lot of pictures, and I think I am on a lot of those.
Yeah.
I gotta look those up. And then so many other people came on stage, gave speeches. It was crazy. I felt so out of place.
They all thanked you afterwards.
It was just right there next to it. I think everybody would have thanked me if I kept standing there.
Right.
But yeah.
Wow.
It was a great experience. I had a great time.
I need those pictures.
I gotta look them up.
Yeah.
Wow. But when the fucking ambassador came on the fucking stage, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm on the wrong spot.
So you think that film is going to be out here, maybe?
I think so. It's also distributed by Warner Bros., so it's a bigger production. And it seems it has more potential to be part of like a normal cinemas program. Like, for example, Film Casino was also one of the most popular, I think, showings on during the film festival.
Right.
So I think it's got a real shot.
Right.
So yeah.
Sweet. I mean, that movie actually sounds interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to put the other one down, but interesting to me.
Put it down. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So what's your pick of the week?
So my pick of the week is a show that I've been watching over the past 12 weeks, and I've waited for it to be done.
Oh.
So there it is.
Is that the thing that you've been teasing and teasing?
No.
Okay.
12 weeks. I've watched that for like a year.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've been stagnant on that show, dude. I'm not gonna. I don't know when I'll finish.
I want to know.
Show.
I want to fucking know.
Well, we'll talk about it soon enough. That's so menacing. So my pick of the week, the best thing that I've seen this and the past 12 weeks actually, is season 2 of Ted Lasso.
Is it out? I missed that. As always.
Yeah. So you even talked about the show winning Emmys and stuff. When we talked about Hannah Waddingham on Sex Ed. Yep.
After that, I completely forgot about it. And it seemed like such a short time ago that it came out. Or maybe it's just such a short time that I saw it. So like 4 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if they released like 3 episodes, like the first 3 episodes at once, but I think they did it once a week, so it's 12 weeks ago because it was, I think, 12 episodes or 10. I think it's 12. And Ted Lasso. I mean, this was my pick last year as well. It was actually on my best of the year list as well.
Oh wow!
And it's an absolute delight of a show, and you watched it since as well, season 1, and even
it's good.
as a non-football fan, you enjoyed it too, right?
Yeah, I think it's made for also very much with
100%.
non-football fans in mind, of course.
Dude, actually, one of my biggest critiques of the show is that there's not enough football in it.
I get it. Yeah, sure.
It's very much all behind the scenes, and it stars Jason Sudeikis as Ted Lasso, as the American football coach, like the American football coach who ends up coaching a British quote-unquote soccer team who has no idea of what the sport is actually about.
The loathing in your voice when you say
I
soccer.
don't want to. I almost didn't want to say it. Because American football, they use their hands. It's the stupidest name I can think of. It's fucking ridiculous. So they he takes charge of AFC Richmond, a club that doesn't exist, but I know now that in season 3 they actually for season 3 they purchased the rights of the Premier League. So they're now actually going to include more and more like real teams and badges and themes and players,
cool.
because they've spread that out over the 2 seasons as well. There's some commentators that I've listened to for years. There's some players, some legends, some icons of the game that have appearances in the show. But also, like, if they play against my team Tottenham quite a few times, especially in season 2.
Really?
I think they played them in season 1, maybe
in season 1.
I'm not sure.
Manchester City, right?
Well, City, yeah. I think maybe you're right. Maybe it's only in season 2.
Maybe I just forgot about it.
They play against
I'm sure
City,
you're more invested. Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing against City again in season 2, but they also play against Tottenham, and they have like a pre-game shot of the Tottenham squad, and it's like it's laughably bad, because I was like hoping because they have so many like real faces in it, but so I was hoping maybe to see like a player or two, but it's just all like completely random faces that don't really even look like footballers, just like thrown in. So here, you play
use the
Tottenham.
real footballers?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what they might do, especially if they get other teams. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, no. I think they may do that in the 3rd season, because now they have the rights.
Sure.
But it's still like so expensive too.
I mean, sure. And I mean, the footballs have to have time and want to do it, and they might be shit actors.
Yes. Oh yeah, sure. But anyway, season 2, I mean, the end of season 1, a small spoiler, they get, I think do they get relegated or they don't get promoted? See, I don't even remember this now.
I don't know.
So I think, what is it now? God damn it. I think they don't get promoted. Or maybe do they get relegated?
I think they get relegated, right?
Yeah, because they play against City in the final, right? So you're right. So they get relegated from the Premier League. So the season 2 is all about them sort of fighting their way back up to the Premier League. And Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis, is obviously the happiest dude ever, with the best attitude ever. But they actually dive into some very deep things in season 2 and his emotional state, and he's got some panic attacks, and they actually really dive into that, and it's really quite profound. And that's also where it kicks in, that it's not only just for football fans. It really is more of an examination of a character study, and not even just Ted Lasso. They have such a huge cast that I've grown to love, and everyone else has grown to love over the past 2 seasons. It's really, really great. So here's a little clip from Ted Lasso season 2.
Howdy, y'all.
Ted! What do you say to a cocktail, Coach Lasso?
Oh, the same thing I'd say to Diane Sawyer if she ever asked me out on a date. Yes, please.
Live from the dog track, it's Richmond with 8 straight ties.
How many more matches before you hit the panic button?
There's 2 buttons I never like hitting. That's panic and snooze. I don't care what our record is. It's all about believing that everything's going to work out in the end, exactly as it's supposed to. And isn't the idea of never give up one of them things we always talk about in sports? And shouldn't that apply to people too?
It's a beautiful metaphor for many of life's journeys.
The team's just a little unlucky, that's all.
Maybe we should bring in a sports psychologist.
Brought you a little something for your first day of work here.
I don't eat sugar.
Really? I've never met someone who doesn't eat sugar. Only heard about them. They all live in this godless place called Santa Monica.
All right. Yeah. I mean, did you have some... Sorry?
Delightful.
Did you have some favorite characters from season 1?
I mean, Beard was interesting, though. He's interesting, but of course, the more you think about it, he's also not the most fulfilling character. He's like an easy choice because he's, funny and has this very niche personality. Is that even a fucking sentence? But I enjoyed, what's her name? Juno Temple.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
And also the guy she was hooking up with.
Yeah. Roy Kent.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, both Roy Kent and Coach Beard, both of these actors are actually writers on the show. Brendan Hunt and Brett Goldstein. And actually, there's a whole episode that's just focused on Beard in season 2.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very weird episode. I didn't necessarily love it. I was like hoping that we get like a regular Ted Lasso episode, but it was really a weird switch of pace, weird.
Yeah. He reminds me of Alex Horn just because, he wrote it, but he's only the sidekick.
Yeah,
he's got the beard. I don't know.
I mean, but Sudeikis wrote it too, and
Sure.
He writes. He does write for others. I feel like more than for himself. There's some episodes focused on Ted's character, but a lot on different characters too. And so, there's one character that I don't want to quote unquote spoil, but who goes through quite an arc in season 2.
A new character?
No, an old character. But you kind of go from loving to hating him or despising him.
Oh, okay. I have an idea who it might be.
Yeah, but it's actually very, very well done because towards the end of the season, there's some quite dramatic events, and I was just like, that seems a bit out of place, or it seems a bit like unearned or whatever. I couldn't really quite relate to that, but then I saw that the actor in question, he actually tweeted something about it after the finale came out, and he sort of listed everything that hinted at the eventual outcome. So they put like in Squid Game a lot of Easter eggs in there, or like not even Easter eggs, but just like things that build and eventually make sense for him to make the decision that he makes.
I hope I'm right about this. I don't hope because I hope this happens to the character, just because I don't know, it would be gratifying to be right.
Do you want to? I mean, I could.
I don't know his name.
Okay.
I don't want to know it even. If I'm right.
Fair. But this is really a comfort blanket of a show. It's kind of like Sex Education for me. That it's a show that actually this one came out weekly. So I always made sure to watch the new episode because it's such an easy watch once again, and it's quite like superficial. It doesn't really feel real, the whole interactions between everyone, because most of the time Ted Lasso is in season 2 they dive into some deep shit there too, but he's a very happy character, and everyone, but really everyone is in the show, and it feels kind of unreal or surreal, but you kind of buy into it and kind of learn to live in that world and sort of accept it. But if only there was more football in it, then it would be even better. But there's a bit in it. But it won like so many Emmys for season 1 like a couple of weeks ago, and
I'm surprised.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it is fun, but I wasn't aware that it was so popular. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a comfort blanket. You just feel good watching it, and you can just binge it.
Yeah. Well, you can binge it if you wait long enough for all the episodes to be out.
Well, I might do that because a friend of mine has Apple
TV Plus, yeah.
So
yeah, you can.
I might check it out. And
It's
I'm not
now
talking
out.
about you. Give me the password.
It's still got like, now with the season 2 being done on IMDb, it's got 115,000 ratings, and it's at an 8.8. That's unreal.
Yeah, shows are just overrated.
But I wouldn't say that this is overrated.
Sure, but
Squid Game has an
good.
8.2. Squid Game has an 8.2.
Still overrated. Every show is like half a point or a point above what it should be, because people just get way more hyped about shows, and I think way more people are watching shows. I feel like most people that I talk to, if I talk like, hey, I mean, what films do you enjoy? Because the topic comes up mostly, like I mostly watch shows,
Yeah.
And I feel like the hype for shows such as Game of Thrones and everything is just so much bigger because I guess it has so much more time to accumulate hype.
No, sure, but I would.
That people, I don't know.
No, sorry.
No, just no, nothing. Just there's people that go out and like this is one of the best shows ever, or like this is the best thing ever, and because they get so sucked into the world, but see over all the little things that are just wrong with it, which make it a good show. But
sure.
Yeah.
No, but I would have assumed that Squid Game has like a 9.0 by that logic, and it's got an 8.2. I'm surprised that it's quote unquote that low. But I think Ted Lasso is really an 8.8 is something to behold. It's really something.
It's great. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I think it's earned. It's a great show.
It's no Breaking Bad with I think 9.2.
9.4, I think, isn't that the highest rated show?
No, the highest rated show is I think Planet Earth.
Right. Okay, I'm talking like fiction.
I think then it's Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers. Does that have? Doesn't that?
I think it's like number 3.
9.4 as well. 9.4 as well.
Let's look it up. Top rated shows. It is
9.4.
Number 1. Yeah, Planet Earth, Breaking Bad, then Band of Brothers, and then Chernobyl. That's the top 5.
But Band of Brothers has 9.4 too.
I guess, but I think it's also based on ratings.
Sure.
Or maybe it's a 9.45, 9.4.
I don't know if we're looking at the same page, but do you see that Ted Lasso is in the top 10 shows of all time?
I am on IMDb. How about you?
Yeah, most popular TV shows, IMDb charts.
Most popular. But most popular is always like currently.
Right. Well, it's got Breaking Bad, The Wire, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, Attack on Titan, The Office, Ted Lasso, Seinfeld.
I mean, it's, I guess, things that people still click on.
Yeah.
I think popular is what people most visit, which site.
Yeah, you might be right. Anyway, we're
sorry.
done. No, sorry.
Seinfeld is now on Netflix, and I'm rewatching.
I've started watching it because it's on Netflix, and I watched 5 minutes and I turned it off.
It gets better. I wasn't a fan either at the beginning, but it gets better.
A friend of mine said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And
you get into the humor.
Yeah, I got many other things to watch.
Sure. It's not a must.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I think even though this was a jam-packed episode, I think we kind of did well with the timing. We're at pretty much an hour now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're done. Obviously, next week, even though it's an odd number, we're doing a special. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully that's going to turn out well. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about the Biennale and all of its films, and all of its glory. And in 3 weeks, I guess we're going to talk about The Last Duel.
Yeah.
And more. So that's it.
I mean, 2 weeks. We can do Biennale.
We can do it in 2 weeks.
Last Duel. Yeah. Because in 3 weeks, we also have the last things we saw in the Biennale, I think. Because they're like on Sunday and Saturday.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe. We'll see.
Right. That's it for me. Thank you for listening. And hopefully you enjoyed this. Apologies for no episode last week. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and hopefully you'll be back next week, and have a good week and stay safe. And Gabe, sign us out.
Thank you so much for listening, as always. And yeah, check us out. You can listen to us anywhere where you get your podcasts from. Check us out at Best Thing Radio on Twitter and Instagram. You can also check out the thumbnail that Flo creates for us every week. You can see that on Twitter, Instagram, and on our YouTube channel. It's our thumbnail. Consider dropping a like, a subscribe. Maybe tell us what you've been watching this very long time. Have you seen Squid Game? Do you think it's deservedly the best show or most watched show on Netflix currently? And yeah, have a great week. I'm looking forward to the special coming up. And yeah, with that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Every time.